P for imperfect. And today it's going to be brought to you by the letter C. What word starting with C is integral to the men's personal development journey? Community. Now, I know in the last P for imperfect one I spoke about brotherhood. How is community different? How is a community different to a network? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, community is different because brotherhood is something that we build around a common purpose. Community is something that often pre-exists us. We do build community and we play integral parts in building community, but we are born into communities. You know, there's cultures, and within that culture are communities, and you know, some of those are things that we're born into that predate us. But how is a community different to a network? Well, because a community, I think, has shared values, shared desires, shared interests, and shared customs. So why is it important that we have that around us? Why is it important that we have a community? Well, it's important because we need a sense of something bigger than self, right? We have to have something that's bigger and more important than self. I mean, for me, when I'm talking about spirituality, for me, spirituality, community are really, really linked. Because my version of spirituality is when I am able to hold a vision and feel connected to something that is bigger and more important than me, right? And one of those things is community. The communities I'm in are bigger and more important than me if they're functioning well. And they're there for me and I'm there for them. So there is a mutual exchange. But it's what stops the individualization. It's what stops me walking through my life thinking I am, in some kind of headset somewhere watching this life that is a simulation and I'm actually the only one that exists. As soon as I step beyond that belief and believe that there are people around me who are affected by me and who affect me and who are reliant on me and I'm reliant upon them, we build community. I start to accept community, and that encourages me to become the best version of myself, because as you know, I talk a lot about the importance of service, the importance of contribution, and the importance of connection, and I don't want to kind of sound preachy about this, but particularly in the sort of the development world, the personal development world, whatever you want to call that, the word community is bounded around. We're creating a community. We're this magnificent community. Building a community is important to me. Is it? I mean, it should be, because it's of benefit. Because if you're not a member of community, then it's you against the world on your own. And not only is it you against the world on your own, you start to feel like it's you against the world on your own. Who are you going to rely on? Who's going to knock on your door if they haven't seen you for a few days? Community is actually the only currency that really matters. If heaven forbid there was some kind of massive catastrophe, right? The first thing to do is communities, people who feel like they're in community with each other, would have to rally together and put up boundaries around themselves, first and foremost, with enough resources in there to get safe and secure, right? That's what community is about. One of the things they teach you if you're into diving is if you see a shark, You all link arms and you turn facing out so you look big. That's what a community is. It stops us being the individual that is standing alone in the world. And we start to feel the warmth of the community. But it is something that we have to build. And it is that building of community that is key to men's personal development, I believe. Because I believe one of the mistakes that men make is they get involved in self. The kind of personal and personal development is kind of a bit of a misnomer. It's a bit misleading, right? Because I can sit in my own room and self-affirm myself forever. I could meditate 8 hours a day. I don't do all those things. If I'm not getting feedback from others, namely my community, I get no evidence. So how do I know I'm really changing? I may as well stand in the mirror and keep telling myself I'm great, right? And the opposite of that you'll often hear people say is, if you keep looking in the mirror and asking that person to smile and you're not smiling, it's never going to happen. Well, that's the same, because I can't get that evidence. I need to build others up and let others need to build me up. We start a cycle of growth together because we're in this community. We're trying to help each other thrive. And I vanish for a day, they look for me. They vanish for a day, I look for them. You know, they're going without, I give. I'm going without, they give. It's the basis of as how we lived as humans. And so we have to have it on our men's personal development journey, I believe. Otherwise, it's just an exercise in, it's just self-serving navel gazing. And so how do I start? You know, if you agree with me that community is really important, how do you start building community? The answer is where you are. Start exactly where you are. One of the things that pisses me off is you hear all these people that are like, you know, oh yeah, community is so important to me and I'm part of this thriving community. Man, if you think community is important to you and you don't even know if your next door neighbour has got enough food, you're a liar. You know, there was a tradition in the East End of London where if you moved into a house, you would go round, whether you needed it or not, you would go to the next door neighbour and you would ask to borrow a cup of sugar. Now, sugar used to be a very valuable thing when this custom was born. And what you were doing in that really is you were new to the area and you were saying to the person, I've come and knocked on your door to borrow from you. So it's okay for you to borrow from me. Right? And East London, we're talking about centuries ago, way before the gentrification of the last 25 years, right? When people had fuck all, right? So it was a big deal. It was important to say, you can knock on my door if you need something. And that means it's okay for me to knock on your door if you mean something, because that's survival. You know, even when I was a kid in East London, we had the local sweet shop, right? That was really a community hub for us. And Rudesh, you know, the man who owned that place, he had a big book that he used to keep underneath. And if you didn't have enough money, if your dad didn't have enough money or your mum didn't have money for you to get food or whatever it was, you could go to Rudesh and you could say, can I get something? My dad will come in next week and pay you. And he'd go, sure, take it, write in your book. And every once in a while he'd go, your dad needs to come and see me now. It's getting a bit big, or whatever it was, right? That's community in action. That was community. Gave what he needed, paid when, and he benefited. He charged a little bit over the odds. We all knew he did, but we didn't mind, right? Because that's how community works. And the day he closed down was a sad day. I've got a picture of me of a kid next to him. Like, he was a pillar of our community, Rudesh, because he understood that it was give and take. And I tell that story and I tell that custom because that should be a representation of how we approach our men's personal development journey, right? That's how we should approach doing the work. I'm going to take something from you. I'm going to ask for something from you, and it's okay for you to ask something from me, right? I've learnt this thing over here, so I'm going to share it with you. Will you share with me what you know? You know, I see all these organisations springing up, and my fear is that one day they're going to see themselves, if not already, in competition with each other. Well, that defeats the object, because we're just doing what men have always done then. We're just setting up little fiefdoms and saying, I own this bit, and I own that bit, and you own that bit, and we'll have a big fight if you start trying to get my bit, and I start getting you. Dudes, there's enough men to go round. Right? There's enough fucking pain in the world for a million organisations to try and help out where they can. So this community, if we call it a men's personal development community, we have to learn from that custom, I believe, because that custom is how you build community. You say, I'm going to give to you when I can, if you're going to give to me when you can. And if I need, I'm going to ask for you. And if you need, you're going to ask from me. Because we all have to be in a place where, I believe, this is the fundamental, it's part of the king archetype. I give what I can and I take what I need. And if you imagine a community like a circle of people with all of their resources in the middle, and everyone was giving everything they could and taking what they need, in all terms, how vibrant and successful would that community be? That's what you need to try and build around you. A group of people who will give what they can and take what they need, especially on your personal development journey, because we have to share these skills and resources. We have to, I believe. God, that turned into a party political broadcast by Laurence H. Johns. It wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be the letter C, community. Keep doing the work, stay connected. See you soon. Bye.